Things is coming in your perspective. Have you seen that few things, few elements are coming in perspective in your foreground, despite the character. Despite the character, few elements are in foreground. So one more thing. Have you noticed the camera कभी stable नहीं हो, didn't stable anymore. Camera didn't stable. There is a moment. Always there is a moment. There is no only one shot. Have you think that any one shot have taken on the tripod or the fixed frame? There is no fixed frame. Have you also seen that they didn't even change the focal length of the lens? Have you seen that? Have you seen that? There is only the moment. Even there is how can you notice that they didn't change the focal length? Because if we change the focal length from wide to telephoto, the depth of field will be increased or decreased. Have you feel that? They didn't change it. So through that song, the condition is remain same. The perspective is remain same. पूरे song में they portray कर रहा है कि what is the song name is? क्या था? हाँ क्या is ना whatever. Yeah. So they are just telling his stories through that poetry or through या वक्त ने किया हाँ जो भी था. So they didn't change the lens, they didn't change the focal length. अगर focal length change करता, the background may be like out of focus. The another character will be out of focus. Have you seen that the character is out of focus every time? No. Both are in the focus. Sometimes he will be in the background. Sometimes he will be in the background. Or every time there is one kind of light is over. Every time there is no flat light at all. There is only one light that makes lots of shadows. That's the hard light. Because वो harshness, because he established one harshness or hard light through that beam of light. So that so when that such kind of light is coming in your face, on your face, what it present? The hard beam of light. What you feel when that beam of light is coming in your home or somewhere else? What you feel when that beam of light or the hard light is coming? What you feel? Not the sophisticated, just feel the strong presence of something. कोई angular नहीं है, कोई angle नहीं हो रहा है, curve नहीं हो रहा है. So a straight beam of light is coming. See in the morning, if there's some patch is coming, see the energy. So ना वो patch light से वही है ना. This create the strong presence of something. So visually there is something that is very strong. Or it may be the character, his willpower. Or his willpower. So have you seen the Padmavat? Padmavat. Every time when Ranveer Singh is introduced, whenever such kind of things is over, have you seen the patch of light is in his room? Even his in bedroom when उस पे कुछ वो होता है, जब वो डांस कर रहा होता है, then कोई तीर वीर चलाता है, तो होता है ना that point of time when his brother-in-law जाता है उसे मारने के लिए जाता that point of time. Have you seen that on his bed there is a beam of light is coming? So that's presence says the character is very strong. When you see that he is not bending properly, वो पूरे bed पे पूरा stretch नहीं था, he little bit bended towards him, थोड़ा उठा हुआ था, पूरी तरह से लेटा हुआ नहीं था bed पे, he is not laying down, he is little bit bended over there. So that's create the presence of a strongness. वो कितना strong and that beam of light create that things every time. उसके कभी भी घर के जो भी shots हैं, have you seen that there is always a beam of light? जब भी शॉट देखो, go and watch again, watch that Padmavat, जब भी उसके घर के शॉट्स हैं, there is also beam of light is. So that's create the character is very strong.
Godfather में भी सारी hard light.
Obviously Godfather के सारे शॉट्स देख लो, when उसके ऑफिस का सीन होता है, when ऊपर उठता है, see the which types of light is coming through the windows or at all. Just create that character's point of views. कि उस वो character कैसा है, उसको build up करने they use such kind of lights.
If there is a single take shot.
Yeah.
How do we write it, sir? Like if it is a fight scene.
Yeah.
Like it's a single take.
So I don't think about the fight scene they will ask you. In fight scene, there is nothing concern about the light or something. Every time it's related to the mood or like the texture of the film, or they will always ask for the light of the film or some shots or composition. In fight scene or sequence, there is no much more composition.
Yes, sir, no composition.
When they are portraying some emotions, that time there is some compositions, there is some movement, and there is a lighting, mode of lighting, different mode of lighting. So every time when you are talking about the Godfather, when you are talking about that Padmavat or that song, Ye Duniya, these are the mood light. Have you seen in the fight sequence and at all there is a kind of mood light and at all? There's only action over there. There's a more focus on action. Not about the storytelling or something. There is something that is happening in present. It's not related to the future or the past or that's it. But on such kind of song and such kind of stories or such kind of mood lighting, they are just telling some stories. They convey something. They are just portraying something through the lights or through the frame. So once you start writing over there, just start it from the composition. Okay. In composition, you know there is a balance. Okay, there is a balanced composition. There is a symmetrical. There is a symmetrical composition. There is a rhythm. There is a color. There is a direction. There is a line and shape. So everything is there. So you show me that what's the line? Line का था ना आपके पास वो था ना line के footage थे आपके पास line हाँ line के footage थे ना आपके पास देखिए आप लोगों ने line the movies इरफान खान not इरफान खान नहीं है देव पटेल्स movies हाँ line देखिए ना line की देखिए किस किसने देखी है देखिए उसके shots his childhood memories and his walking on some railway tracks the introduction if you have just give it to me. Okay, now I'll show line clip 1 ना oh shit man ठीक है चल जाएगा ना हाँ कोई अच्छा वो वेल से
डाउनलोड नहीं सर वो चेंज करेंगे तो
एक सेकंड
चेंज करेंगे हो जाएगा
give me 1 second
बहुत पुरानी चल रहा है
what is date is 2019 and is the fave 13 12 no fave okay so what's the time is 10:50 no
10:52
52
yes sir
okay I don't think
चलेगा सर
okay now just see silent कर दिस शॉट ना वहाँ से इंडिया वाला शॉट जो कंपेयर इसी में है वो
भाई के साथ जब रेल
रेल वाला नहीं वो
दूसरे में
नहीं मैं इंट्रोडक्शन शॉट की बात कर रहा हूँ जिसमें कि वो फॉरेन से इंडिया वाला जो मैच है वो कंसेप्चुअल कट जो आता है
ये रहा।
इससे पहले था ना वो शॉट
नहीं ऑस्ट्रेलिया के बाद आता है ना।
नहीं ऑस्ट्रेलिया वाला शॉट तो यहाँ ख़त्म हुआ ना हियर
नहीं अब आएगा।
अभी चल रहा है ऑस्ट्रेलिया का
है ना
अब आएगा।
लाया में
ये आ गया।
जो बड़ा
सर ये इतनी सारी तितलियां लाए कहाँ से?
आर्टिफ वो पकड़ के लाया होगा
VFX
नहीं वीएफएक्स नहीं
बॉक्स
बॉक्स में बंद करके लाया था कुछ समथिंग कैप्चरिंग ऑल दिस थिंग्स एंड सारे सारे रियल थे 1 सेकंड आई एम जस्ट शोइंग दैट देयर इज अनदर शॉट आई थिंक दे 2 और 3 कौन सा क्लिप है 3 ना
हम लोग मिल रहे
Okay. Okay, don't go through only with the moment. There's also the texture. There's also texture and see the lights. See the match cut.
हैंडल्ड है ना सर?
Not even the
ट्रेन का वो
handle.
बनाया गया है ना
See the composition.
सर ये जर्क से जो वो पूरा ये मोशन जो क्रिएट किया है
Just coming. Okay, the end. Go for that. कहाँ है वो शॉट
Which one?
ट्रेन को बात कर रहा हूँ मैं ट्रेन के ऊपर
सामने में होगा, आपने दूसरा खोल दिया जो बंद किया था हमने इससे पहले। ठीक। इस वाले में एकदम लास्ट में
I think this one is
फोकस हटा दीजिए। सर कर्सर हटा दीजिए।
excellent. Just think about this shot. Okay, just leave it. Just only talking about the last shot. What do you feel about that last shot when they're taking last shot that the railway track? What is the story behind it? किसी को कुछ लग रहा है?
सर याद कर रहा था वो अपने बचपन.
No, no, I'm talking about that line. In the composition, there is a leading line. If you are talking about the composition, there is a line. And that line create that line
ending one kind of.
never ending process thought कुछ है कि जो मिल नहीं रहा है. Is there any end if they are showing that line? Is the railway track have some end? No. So क्या दिखा रहा है? Hope दिखा रहा है ना. कभी ना कभी कोई ना कोई स्टेशन, there must be some station, there must be something. So there is a hope कि उस अपने मॉम से वो 25 years पहले, I think 25 यही स्टोरी है ना, कुछ 25 years पहले कहीं चाल से छूट गया था, बट उसके मॉम ने कभी होप नहीं छोड़ा, नेवर लॉस्ट हिज होप, हर होप. सो लाइक आफ्टर में वही आके मिलता है ना, ये कुछ स्टोरीज लाइक जो भी है. सो और टू थिंग्स, इसके फर्स्ट शॉट में आपने देखा जब ट्रेन वाले शॉट्स हम देख रहे थे एट दैट टाइम, इज इट स्टैटिक शॉट्स? इट्स नॉट वेल कंपोज्ड, वेरी अनबैलेंस्ड. मैंने अगर वो चाहते तो बैलेंस हो सके. इफ़ दे यूज़ गिम्बल्स, स्टैटिक शॉट्स आते. इफ दे यूज़ गिम्बल, इवन ट्रेन चल भी रही होती, बट दे गॉट स्टैटिक शॉट. बट इज इट स्टैटिक? So what do you feel? Why? Why? Some drama to create some. So what they creates actually through that, if there is a moment, it means you are creating some visual tension over there. If it will be static, you are not creating that visual tension. So this kind of shots add visual tension. तो विजुअल टेंशन क्या होता है कि ऑडियंस को इन्वॉल्व करता है. ऑडियंस विल बी इन्वॉल्व. अरे अब क्या होगा, अब क्या होगा, यहाँ कर रहा है, वहाँ जा रहा है. So it's not the fixed pattern कि ट्रेन जा रही है, जा रही है, जा रही है, पहुँच जाएगी. It's not like that. Every time they change the frame, every time they change the composition.
Sir, if a song is there, we can talk about the balance of a movement or anything. If these types of shots are changing, how do we?
Yeah, that's why I show you these things, because they want to create that visual tension. So there is no smoothness. So they want to create that tension. That's why they add such kind of moment. The erratic moment. This is the erratic moment.
जो फर्स्ट क्लिप देखी थी हमने ऑस्ट्रेलिया से इंडिया में हुए ट्रांजिशन जो था, तो उसमें जो ऑस्ट्रेलिया जो सबसे पहले दिखाया है वहाँ पे जो एरियल शॉट ला के इंडिया में, कि वो प्रेजेंट में वो ऑस्ट्रेलिया में है और वो अपने पास्ट में जा रहा है. वो फिर जब इंडिया में आके वो
अपने बचपन को जो देखते हैं, हाँ,
वो प्रेजेंट से पास्ट में ले जा रहा है वो शॉट, एरियल शॉट.
हाँ,
कंपोजिशन
नहीं, बट वो पहुंचा है ना, जेन्यून में वो पहुंचा भी तो है, रियलिस्टिक में पहुंचा भी तो है.
लास्ट में पहुंचे हैं.
हाँ.
वो तो, लेकिन जब मूवी स्टार्ट होती है जब
बिकॉज दो जगह की स्टोरी दिखा रहे थे वो. सो देयर मस्ट बी ट्रांजिशन थ्रू द एरियल शॉट. यू गॉट दैट थ्रू द ऑस्ट्रेलिया ही एंटर्ड इन India through the memory line. So that's the reason, because through the memory lane वो ऐसा नहीं दिखा. थ्रू द मेमोरी लाइन ऐसा नहीं होता, सो रहा होता है और सपने में एयरपोर्ट पे उतरता है, दिस सच काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स. सो थ्रू द एरियल्स कि वो मेमोरी इज ट्रैवलिंग थ्रू हियर टू देयर, उसने एरियल से दिखा दिया. जोग्राफिकल तरीके से लेके उसने दिखा दिया. नॉट थ्रू द, अगर ऐसा होता सपने में सो रहा है, देन इज कुछ हुआ, देयर सम ड्रीम, एंड फिर उसने रिकॉग्नाइज करना स्टार्ट किया कि मुंबई एयरपोर्ट पे उतरा है, फिर गया है. सो इतना शॉट उसने नहीं लिया है. जोग्राफिकल तरीके से आपको उसने थ्रू द ऑस्ट्रेलिया ही जस्ट एंटर्ड इन मेमोरी लैंड विच इज सिचुएटेड इन इंडिया. सो थ्रू इंडिया एक शॉट दिखाता है, और वो भी उसके बचपन का शॉट दिखाता है. वो भी उसके बचपन का शॉट दिखाता है. ऐसा नहीं को उतरा है वहाँ पर, वहाँ से शॉट उसने लिया है. सो फॉर दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स यू जस्ट स्टार्टेड विद द मोमेंट. They started with moment because there is also composition. See, in dust tilt angle there is a composition. It's an unbalanced frame. Do you know that the dust tilt angle, the camera is angular. It's not the on horizontal axis. Camera will be angular. So this kind of the dust tilt effect is called the dust tilt effect. If camera is not stable like that, not on the tripod, the camera will be like this. So it's called the Dutch tilt angle. Dutch angle. Dutch tilt, it's called the Dutch tilt angle. But people are using that kind of shots to create that visual tension. See, if there is some earthquake kind of things, have you shoot that earthquake on that level on like on what horizontal axis pe camera will be stable? If there is an earthquake, you have to shoot that earthquake. So you have to create that visual tension. That's people are not balanced. Not even in the one way कि इधर से ही भागना है, कोई कहीं से भी जा सकता है, from here, there and everywhere. So it's unbalanced. So create that tension, you have to add that motion. Either camera यहाँ है, camera वहीं है, some action will happen on the lens. Sometimes किसी के पैर lens के आगे से निकल रहे हैं, something is falling on the lens. होते हैं such kind of things because it's not the balance. So there you will not talk about in sense of composition there is a visual balance. There is no visual balance at all. They make it unbalanced because the person and the audience जो भी actor जो भी हैं वहाँ पे, but the situation is not balanced. So create that unbalanced things. You have to make your frame unbalanced. Right now here what happened? There is a lots of shaky frame over there.
सर ये एक मतलब रिदम पर है सर जो हम ये जो शॉर्ट थे ट्रेन वाला
नहीं
स्टार्टिंग में बहुत आराम से चल रहा होता है और फिर वो धीरे धीरे
No, see why it's look like a train is coming slowly. Why you feel that the train coming slowly? It's for you the visual composition. If you've seen that the train is coming from far away, you feel that the train is moving fastly. No, it's very slowly train is moving. You feel that if you're watching, if you're saying that the train from far away or bus is coming from far away. But अगर आपके पास से जाएगा, it's the fastly it will travel. So वो motion जो दिखाया है वो इस तक कम दिखाया कि आप बहुत ही आराम से, but अंदर visual tension चल रहा है. So जब भी हम shoot करते हैं, there is two kind of shoot. There is a perspective point of view होता है. Sorry, subjective point of view होता है. The another is the stock. So there is a subjective point of view and the objective point of view. So have you heard that whenever you shoot something like the movies or something else, there is a two point of view you can shoot. One is the subjective point of view, the another is the objective point of view. So what is subjective point of view?
Like how we see,
According to the
what we
subject,
see.
According to subject point of
what the subject is feeling.
Yeah, whatever subject is feeling. So according to subject point of view you are shooting, there is a subjective point. Sometimes you feel that there is no one in a frame, but you think that someone is chasing someone. You feel that there is no one in the frame, but you can recognize because of the camera angle, you feel that someone is chasing, someone is looking towards. You feel that. ऐसा होता है ना कि someone is chasing someone like that because the camera angle is like that. So it's the subjective point of view. In objective point of view, through the audience point of view, through the audience point of view, they want to show something to the audience. So audience will be involved in that. So that the audience point of view, shooter, oh, this is the character, he is going his home or he is going his office. There is no subjective point of view will be involved. So more the subjective, more tension will be
the
created.
last shot is objective point of view.
Yeah, the last shot is objective
When
point
the
of
train
view
is going
because
in,
yeah,
wide frame.
the last shot जो था, the last shot that the line and shape, yeah, so that is objective point of view. That's not subjective.
नहीं होगा कि वो अपने ही नजर से देख रहा है.
नहीं, उस फिर तो दोनों कैरेक्टर वहाँ दिख रहे थे, आपको एरियल शॉट था कहीं ऊपर, वो एरियल शॉट था. That was the aerial shot. Last shot, we are talking about the last shot, that was aerial shot. वो एरियल शॉट था फॉर द ऑडियंस के पर्पस के कि ये लाइंस जा रही है ना, अब आप कहानी को डिपिक्ट कर सकते हो.
सर वो जो सीक्वेंस है पूरा कि वो देख रहा है अपने भाई को और अपने हस्बैंड को.
वो सारा सब्जेक्टिव, सारा सब्जेक्टिव.
सर उसमें कोई भी और चीज यूज नहीं हुई ना, स्किमर वगैरह कुछ
इसमें
लाइटिंग में उसकी.
ये ऑब्वियसली यार लाइटिंग यूज हुई होगी. हैव यू सीन दैट देयर इज अ कंटिन्यूटी ऑफ लाइट?
हाँ वही
yes,
वही तो.
हैव यू सीन दैट ऑन दैट फ्रेम जो ट्रेन को क्रॉस कर रहा है, हैव यू सीन दैट देयर इज अ continuity of light? This shot now, after this one. This is a one shot, very nice shot, this one. Yeah, I'm talking about this shot, very nice shot. See again.
Sir,
subject
but
है वो.
it can
See, from here. This one, this one, this one, this one.
Texture is very nice.
Now this shot, see, very nice shot. See now, you can take about the composition.
Line.
See the line, see the line.
Balance.
Okay. This is the balance because the balance frame. This is the balance frame because this is the
He's
balance
taking in from inside.
from inside.
Sir,
Yeah.
balance can be.
That window is there.
Balance can be anywhere, in line or shape or curve, anywhere. There is visual balance because see the things is balanced. The left hand side there is a more things. The right hand side, sorry, left hand side, right hand side balanced, and it's also there is a
Leading lines.
Leading line.
leading lines, and leading lines में क्या हो रहा है?
Curve.
Curve is
So
the
curve defines texture, sir.
not the textures. Curve define your direction.
Direction.
Curve define that direction. The visual direction
Sir,
की
what
है.
can we write about texture, sir?
Yeah, I'm coming towards the
Sir,
texture
you-
of
you-
subject, texture of the film, or texture of the light.
Texture of the scene. Like
Texture of the
this-
scene,
this
okay.
is a single shot of.
So see,
panning.
so just go with the texture when you are talking about the texture. Okay, firstly I describe the lighting texture, then we'll come to this point. Let's see this shot I'm talking about.
Here it is zoomed out and then zoomed out. See, nice.
सर इसको फोकस आउट क्यों किया था? कुछ वजह?
इस पे इस
पे,
सब्जेक्ट
हाँ,
पे फोकस
इस पे फोकस करो.
And then here it is focused.
Alright.
सर वहाँ पर
Single take है.
छुपाया क्यों?
Single take.
छुपाया नहीं था, ग्लास के पीछे से शॉट को किया था.
नहीं वो तो ठीक है लेकिन
And that is subjective shot, sir.
Yeah. Because there is a point of view shots. The first shot is point of view shots. In same shot, they introduce that character.
They introduce
The firstly, yeah, the subject.
सर एक
As a point of view.
ट्रेन वाला सीक्वेंस लगाओ, रेलवे ट्रैक वाला सीक्वेंस लगाओ.
Last वाला.
हाँ सर.
सर ये भी बैलेंस फ्रेम
हाँ
है.
सर
Yeah.
इसमें
क्या करना?
सर इसमें कुछ यूज करा होगा स्किमर या रिफ्लेक्टर या कुछ.
Obviously,
सर
obviously यूज किया होगा. लाइट का टेक्सचर नहीं देख रहे हो कितना सॉफ्ट आ रहा है. See,
Sir, but
But I'm talking about the-
sir.
और सर छुपा है फ्रेम जैसे बड़ा
see,
हो रहा है.
see, देख, see. This is the hard light.
हाँ.
आ रही है ना ये?
सर इसमें
Highlights
शार्पनेस
are
नहीं है
more-
सर
in this
ज़्यादा.
this soft.
क्यों सर?
See, this one. यहाँ से स्टार्ट करता है. Now check it
सर
out.
इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा शार्पनेस क्यों नहीं है?
किसमें?
सर ये film पे
Flat
light
रखा है.
हो सकती है?
क्या?
Film. मतलब
नहीं.
कभी-कभी शाम को तो एकदम येलो लाइट होती है स्ट्रॉन्ग.
नहीं बिल्कुल नहीं. शाम तो हॉरिजन देखो कैसा है.
Sir, but this is little soft, no, sir.
Yeah, no. So they use a skimmer,
स्किमर यूज करा होगा सर.
obviously. कहाँ था वो शॉट? After that, ना? उसके बाद था. See, I'm talking about the continuity of that light. See,
लेफ्ट सर.
now, keys or whatever the hard light is falling through this side.
हाँ.
That is
Key
Key light.
key light, the left hand side.
लेफ्ट हैंड से.
So
कैमरा लेफ्ट.
now see,
राइट. कैमरा राइट.
right कैमरे के right से आ रहा है, but the direction is remain same. The direction is remain same because the subject is just changed their axis, but light didn't. Light का axis वही है ना, light have the same axis. From the left hand side, the left hand side, but his left become his right. According to, because they are just changing the axis. ये इस side है, ये इस side है. The axis change है, for that's the reason his left become his right. So कल जो हम बात कर रहे थे कि वो if you change the subject for that OTS, you have to change the light. But right now, both are the opposite side. So the light didn't need to change the light.
पोजीशन.
सर डेप्थ तो इसमें है.
Yeah, obviously.
6 वगैरह होगी.
नहीं ज़्यादा है. See? सर इसमें भी है.
जैसे ये शॉट है, इसमें कैसे यूज करा होगा इसके
हाँ, it's a moving.
लंबा.
तो मूविंग के लिए क्या है कि हमारे तुम्हें लगता है वो छोटे छोटे स्कीमर्स आते हैं, बट देयर इज अ बिगर स्कीमर्स 20 by 20 feet स्कीमर्स
They'll keep it.
like tent house type of things. The bigger schemes, the whole areas can be covered. इससे भी बड़ा है. 20 by 20 ये नहीं होगा. आई थिंक ये 14 by समथिंग कुछ होगा. इससे भी बड़ा आता है. दे नीड सर्टेन काइंड ऑफ एक्सटेंशन. 20 को भी बढ़ा सकते हैं. सो दे नीड टू डिफ्यूज. तो ओके.
सर इसमें उतना शार्पनेस क्यों नहीं दिखाया उन्होंने?
क्या?
शार्पनेस बहुत.
डिपेंड अपॉन द टेक्सचर कि हमें शार्प ज़्यादा नहीं दिखाना है. थोड़ी अफिनिटी है. द सी Sharpness means what? If you are talking about the sharpness, this is a kind of, you are talking about the contrast. Actually, you are talking about the contrast. तुम यही कह रहे हो ना कि there is a no much more contrast. Contrast in the sense, तुम ये shot की बात करो. If you are talking about the shot, there is no much more contrast. Why there is no contrast? How can you create contrast? How can you add contrast in your scene? Contrast में
कैसा फील हो रहा है जैसे रॉ शूट किया बस कलर ग्रेड करके जो है बहुत नॉर्मल कलर रखे
फेडेड सा लग रहा है, फेडेड सा लग रहा है. सो दिस इज योर, आप जो पूछ रहे थे, क्या पूछ रहे थे आप? टेक्सचर. सो दिस इज द टेक्सचर्स. सो इट्स डिपेंड अपॉन द डायरेक्टर्स हाउ टेक्सचर विल बी. सो दिस इज टेक्सचर ऑफ योर फिल्म. दे डोंट वांट लॉट्स ऑफ कॉन्ट्रास्ट. कॉन्ट्रास्ट नहीं क्रिएट करना था.
होटल की जो नॉर्मल लाइटिंग होती होगी तो उसी के अकॉर्डिंग किया गया है.
No, see, your wardrobe also make that contrast.
ये तो गांव टाइप का कुछ लग
है ना?
समझ नहीं आ रहा है.
यो उसके wardrobe जो सी सिर्फ गांव टाइप की नहीं है. सी द contrast अब भी है, ऐसा नहीं contrast नहीं है. सी that there is angular of lights. There's angle of lights behind that guys. है ना? तो बहुत affinity सा यूज़ किया. Affinity means see the अगर हम contrast, if you are talking about the contrast, we are talking about the some numerical values. The difference between two colors, different between two shades, that is different, like black and white. There is a more contrast on numerical level. If you count like 0 to 10, so black will be 0 and 10 will be white. So the larger contrast between black and white, the bigger contrast between black and white when we are talking about the black and white. So now if there is a 0 and 1, some color have the value of 1, some have the 0. So is there more contrast between 0 and 1? No. 1 to 2, 2 to 4, there is much more contrast. Like तुम ग्रे पे कोई वैसा ही कुछ ग्रे सा लो, like that. So it's called the affinity. It's called affinity. Have you ever shooted in some foggy days and cloudy days? Have you feel that there is a much more contrast? But go in some sunny days where the clear sky over the sunlight is, proper sunlight is coming at that time.
Shadows more like.
No, more shadows, but things is more visible, no? In hazy days or foggy days, have you shoot that? Is there lots of contrast? Contrast between. कैसे यार?
Foggy day.
कैसे तुम्हें contrast?
होगा ना सर.
वही कह रहा हूँ ना, foggy days में कैसे होगा?
हाँ नहीं होगा.
हमें foggy days की बात करो. foggy days में contrast होगा? नहीं होगा. बहुत कम होगा. Sorry. So, yeah, if there is a, see, there is a contrast, but ज़्यादा नहीं है ना?
But not more.
Not more than. So contrast is the value between two colors की अगर हम बात करें. Normally if you are talking about the contrast is the black and white. The same with red के साथ तुम कुछ और use करो. Red के साथ green दे दो, कोई और color दे दो. See the contrast?
Sir, contrast is manipulated by light only.
Yeah, you can also manipulate by light. You can manipulate by the colors.
डिसाइड कैसे करेंगे सर स्क्रिप्ट
Like
जैसे
if we want the contrast.
ये शॉट लेना है.
See, it's depend upon, first is depend upon the choice of the directors, which kind of contrast they want.
रेशो.
So then you decided there is which kind of contrast. You can create that contrast through the lights. You can create contrast through the lights. So you can create contrast through the wardrobe, through the properties.
Sir, yesterday's
If
song is there.
if this wall have some colors, say if this wall have some colors, there are lots of contrast.
Yes, sir.
If this wall have some colors, so there is contrast. If the background have the silhouette kind of effect, there is a contrast. हो जाता है ना. अगर ऐसा हो तो there is a contrast. So but क्या हो रहा है अभी सब कुछ event सा feel हो रहा है. Everything is like event. The texture is like event. There is no much more contrast between background and subject. Subject
Yesterday
will
we
be
saw that song that Piazza.
That
yeah,
is
that-
also same na sir.
That has
no
contrast.
that had
Lot of
contrast na,
contrast.
because there is a highlights and shadows. So there is a two values of that texture. There is a two values.
Shadow, whites and.
There is a more shadows than your highlights. तो दो टोन हो गए ना. So is the see the difference between tone create your contrast. The difference between tones that create your contrast. So see the same color have the different tones. Shades जिसकी बात करते हैं, different colors have different, same colors have the different tones. होते हैं ना एक ही colors के. The gray से start करो, the dark gray, the light gray. So these are the tones. So the between black and white there is a Larger difference between black and white? हाँ बिल्कुल contrast होगा. But say he is wearing some t-shirt and his jeans. So is there contrast? Not much more contrast. It's the black and this shiny black and that matte finish black. See the texture.
कंट्रास्ट को कैसे डिफाइन
The difference between tones you can create the contrast. अभी contrast नहीं हो रहा. उसके red t-shirt पे white से New York City लिखा हुआ है. If अगर maroon से लिखा होता तो is there contrast?
रेड कलर पे येलो
For example, see
कंट्रास्टिंग हुआ ना.
anything which is bright.
The difference between tonal values of color tone, difference between tone that create contrast. है ना? The difference between तुम क्या करते हो कभी कॉन्ट्रास्ट पिक्चर्स में कभी कॉन्ट्रास्ट बढ़ा के देखा है नरेटिंग
यस सर
यू फील दैट
अब ब्लैक सा हो जाता है
वाइट वाइट हो जाता है ब्लैक ब्लैक हो जाता
ओके आयुष ने कट किया था बीच में ओके चलो इसे बंद करो
सर इसमें हमारी चॉइस ऑफ लाइटिंग क्या होगी नेचुरल से भी कर सकते हैं जैसे बैकग्राउंड लाइट था इसमें या अपनी लाइट यूज कर सकते हैं
अपनी लाइट यूज़ करोगे या तुम्हें लग रहा है सनलाइट इज गिविंग सच काइंड ऑफ लाइट्स तो यू कैन यूज़ इट इफ डिडंट देन यू हैव टू यूज़ अभी क्या था इंडोर भी था आउटडोर था दोनों इन्वॉल्व था तो यू हैव टू चूज दैट लाइट मूड सेम है ना तो बट लाइट तो करना पड़ा होगा इंडोर में
हाँ तो वैसा ही तो है पूरा
और सर
मूड वैसा ही है
जो ट्रेन थी ट्रेन में तो करनी पड़ी होगी लाइटिंग
ऑब्वियसली
और वहाँ पे चैलेंज भी होगा क्योंकि छोटी सी जगह है
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल लाइटिंग में चैलेंजिंग नहीं हो तुम सीखते क्या सिनेमेटोग्राफी में कैमरा तो कोई भी मूव करा लेगा फॉसी द डिफरेंट कैमरा हैव द डिफरेंट ऑपरेटर्स तुम नहीं जाते हो जिमी जिप को घुमाने के लिए इफ योर कैमरा इज ऑन जिमी जिप यू आर नॉट अ ऑपरेटर देयर इज ऑपरेटर बिकॉज अब तो उसके लिए तुम पहले यू जस्ट टेक 2 months ट्रेनिंग फॉर ऑपरेटिंग दैट जिमी जिप you can tell them which kind of shot you want
So that they'll.
but he will handle that camera person not the camera person that attendant that operator it's called the Jimmy Jeep operator Jimmy Jeep operator is not a cameraman Jimmy Jeep operator can be a cameraman but it's not necessary for the cameraman he will have to be a Jimmy Jeep operator Jimmy Jeep operator there is a drone operator for drone there is a drone operator सब तुम ये नहीं कह सकते सिनेमेटोग्राफर हैं यार ड्रोन तो नहीं उड़ाना आता तुम कैसे होगे डीओपी so you're just telling this which kind of shot you want you will decide that things which kind of shot you want you explain to him and he will take that one so जिमी जिप पे खुद नहीं चले जाओगे स्टडी कैम तुम्हें नहीं आता तो someone will operate so you just decide the frame you decide the lighting so the cinematography is 70% now it's the 80% about the lighting only 20
Tell about the texture of that single shot design, sir. From where that leading lens came to close up.
which shot
The last.
that curved line bridge to yeah there were one shot this is the one
So once
The-
texture, sir.
where is the texture
The texture of the shot.
there is a texture
Yeah, there is like how to.
सर एक्चुअली टेक्सचर को हम लोग डिफाइन नहीं कर पाए मतलब वो
yeah see सिर्फ इस फिल्म से टेक्सचर नहीं say for example take any films like have you seen the Ramlila have you seen the what was the movies the last movies of Bajirao Mastani and there is a Padmavat such kind of films in every film have the same texture not the, see it's totally depend upon that historical or geographical sector or everything that is involved with the film
The
if
texture
there
of the
see
architecture.
if yeah if your scene or whatever things is related to some desert like Rajasthan kind of things yeah like that sand see if have you seen that movies what's the name Subhash Kapoor films on Fulan Devi Bandit Queen everyone watched that movies no
मूवी
watch
तो ग्रामीण सर दे आर
no see that movies go and watch that movies in that movies because the story of some that's kiska tha the Fulan Devi Dakat kind of things is the very rustic kind of things
Okay.
very rustic so
The texture of the architecture, sir.
yeah all the architectures and your lightings and even your subjects wardrobe everything so what they did for the because they shoot it in the Chambal everything the Chambal is the one Chambal
देयर इज अ
okay सो वेरी डेंजरस प्लेस. अभी चंबल टूरिज्म का ऐड भी आ रहा है.
बट
हाँ
अब
चल.
नहीं.
अरे फिल्म आ रही है यार, वो क्या नाम है, व्हाट इज द नेम, सोच रही है. हाँ सोच रही है. अब कहते हैं कभी गुजारी है चंबल में, है ना.
Sir, if we take this room, the texture is that those frames and the
Yeah, everything. You can do the lights, these frames, these colors, these textures. So see, every time when we heard about the textures, we go with the surface of something, that is called the texture. Every time you think that because it's glass have some another textures, and that wooden have that texture, the surface of that things, that is called the texture. So texture of your subject, you can create it by light. There must be the texture of light too.
The
light
light,
light also have the texture. Your subject have the textures.
How the-
Even
how the
a
light
whole movie have the texture. Some textures. Whole movie. So when we are talking about that Bandit Queen, वहाँ पे पूरी फिल्म में there's no any green color introduced. Why the color green will be introduced? What's the intention of green? Whenever there's a green in your frame or green in somewhere, what it feels? Life, peace, like that. The peace, if there is a green or white kind of things involved, green is involved, more green is there. क्या लगता है, if see the farmers के वो green से होते हैं, how you feel that? लाइफ दिखाता है ना, ये दिखाता है लाइफ. इफ अगर अब सुन लो, अब कट गई है फसल, उसके बाद के खेत देखो, उसके बाद की चीज़ें देखो, इट फील्स येलोइश रस्टिक. So there is no life because फसल कट चुकी, there is no life, very rustic kind of feels. So in that movies, they didn't use a single color palette of green. Even if there is some waters that have the green stickers or green layers, they just removed it. There is no one grass over there because in Chamal they shooted some ghatis, so there is a grass kind of things. But every grass will be rustic because they want to show that their life isn't very rustic, that there is no any kind of life or any kind of things over there. So that's the reason there is no only single grass will be in the frame. There is a grass, but that grass is rustic. So that's decided the look. It will be the rustic. See the Ram Leela. This is the love story kind of thing. So see how much color palette over there, how much colors involved over there. There are lots of colors involved over there. So see some dramatic कोई historical movies or historical event like कौन सी थी बनाओ से पहले बाजीराव. See the colors. Through the colors you can judge that the see when you are talking about texture, वैसे the sepias में तुम लोग अपने photos को करते हो colored convert करते हो. Have you used the sepia mode? That is kind of textures. Once you convert it in the sepia, what you feel? You feel that there's some old time memories kind of things. Just feel like ना, so you are just decided the texture. अगर तुम वो texture है तुम्हारा कि texture करते ही एक feel आ गया तो through the colors. Through the colors you feel that okay, it's the old time memory something because this film is.
the color of the scene.
So that is kind of texture. That is texture. So it's decided by a director which kind of texture they want.
Sir,
But
if
through the
scene
light-
is taken in a natural light, sir,
Yeah.
then how do we describe that? Like,
The, so it's like
regarding the color,
you are using the word neutral.
not
So it's look natural.
neutral, yeah.
It's look natural. There is every color's value will be same. It's look natural.
सर कलर पैलेट डिसाइड कैसे करते हैं हम लोग?
वो तो डायरेक्टर डिसाइड करेंगे, एडिटर के साथ बैठ के डीओपी बैठे रहेंगे भाई कैसा
उसको हम
कलर
लाइटिंग
चाहिए.
में कैसे चेंज कर सकते हैं मतलब?
लाइटिंग में चेंज कर सकते हैं बिल्कुल.
कर सकते हैं.
हाँ, obviously.
लाइटिंग
बिल्कुल चेंज कर सकते हैं थ्रू द लाइटिंग. थ्रू द लाइटिंग यू कैन चेंज नॉट द कलर पैलेट. तुम कलर पैलेट डिसाइड नहीं कर सकते. थ्रू द लाइट्स यू कैन चेंज द टेक्सचर, यू कैन ऐड टेक्सचर. सो लाइट हैव डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ एट्रीब्यूट्स. राइट नाउ विल डिस्कस ऑन इट.
क्रिएट करेंगे तो वही तो कलर पैलेट होगा ना हमारा.
नहीं बेटा, कलर पैलेट तो ये है कि इन पोस्ट. ओके, सो व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द aspects of lighting, there's a few elements, there's a few things that you can say that the attributes of lights. Every lights have certain kind of aspects, and these aspects are the quality, the direction, color, intensity, and the texture. Didn't need to write it. Just I'll give you this PPTs. Didn't need to write it. थोड़ा समझ में कोई बात बाद में लिख लेंगे. लिख लीजिए. Aspect is quality, the first things, then the direction, then the color, and the intensity, then the texture. Now, if for any movies, in terms of lighting, if you need to describe that lighting, so there is a few elements. Firstly, you can talk about the quality of light, then you can talk about the direction of light, then there is a color, texture, intensities. So there is a 5 elements. So particularly अब आपके पास there is a 1 point, 2 point, 3 point and 4 point. Firstly, you in terms of lighting, you just decided which quality of light is there. Then what is the direction? Then what is the texture? Then the intensity, then the color. So in lighting, these few elements is there. So जब भी describe करोगे lighting को, तो अब इतनी चीज़ें तुम point out कर सकते हो. These things, these elements you can point out. There is a 5 elements. In terms of lighting, when you are describing lighting, when you are talking about some movies or some, say for example, that songs of that movies, there is this kind of things, there is a quality, there is a direction, you feel that there is a direction, there is a color also involved, there is an intensity, there is a black and white, there is an intensity, there is a texture. So firstly we started from the quality. What do you mean by quality? Quality is only, there is only 2 kind of, it may be the hard, it may be the soft. In quality, the light will be hard or soft. So how can you recognize this one is the hard light and this one is a soft light?
Create sharp shadows in highlights.
Yeah, let's create sharp shadows. The hard light create shadows, and in soft light there is a minimal value of shadows, a few values, or sometimes there is there is a no shadows.
Sometimes diffused light.
Yeah, diffused भी कह सकते हो आप, means diffused light. So how can we recognize it will produce the hard shadows, or this light will produce hard shadows, or this one will be soft, this one will be soft.
By visualizing the
Visible.
shadows.
If there is a shadow, we will see.
By the intensity or power of that light.
Power of the light, okay, or
So sometimes we can.
so sunlight have the same power. वही light देती है ना sunlight की. If you're talking about the sunlight,
So sunlight is hard.
hard light, yeah, sunlight is okay.
Source of
See,
light.
sunlight is hard light, okay, you got it. In clear sunny day, you go outside and see the hard light. When there is a cloud, is that light is harder?
No.
In there is a cloudy days,
No.
is that light because the source is same?
But it is
Diffused light.
Diffused by the larger source.
Yeah.
So it means smaller the source,
Diffused
Ha-
the other source means the
diffusion. I'm coming to your point. Means the smaller the source, harder will be shadows. Source, the source of light, the source of light. The smaller the source, harder the shadows. जितना छोटा वो होगा, because through that there is a pattern of light जो है, the beam of light will be
laser light beam of
bigger. So direction जो मिलेगा, that direction create your sharp shadows. So in cloud, have you feel that there is no much more shadows in daylight, but in bright sunny day, in cloud, but in bright sunny day you feel that there is a lots of, there is a hard shadows because the light is coming towards there. But in cloud, क्या हो रहा है? They diffuse, it got diffused. That light, the cloud diffused it. You know, it got diffused. So it create soft light.
different shadows.
And now you can define it, light is softer and this light is harder. So it's very clear, it's create the sharp shadows. Now this is your hard light. It didn't create shadows, it is your, this one is your soft light. So hard and soft, quality of light is clear. You can find the what is the quality of light. Now it's depend upon your lighting approach, or it's depend upon that scene, which kind of light is falling. It may be the hard, it may be the soft. Sometimes hard and soft का mix up करते हैं. Some character have the hard, some have the soft, because it depend upon the hard become softer. Hard भी soft हो सकता है. If the fall off become greater, if you are doing lighting from here, so distance, that distance means the fall off.
Also soft.
Soft, no? Distance make that thing softer. कि अभी if some person is from 6 feet, it will be the harder for him, but if someone is on 8 feet, it will be the softer. हो जाएगा, distance भी तो उसे soft कर रहा है. So you can make your hard light softer. जैसे cloud ने उसे soft कर दिया, just like you have certain kind of diffusion material. You can make your light, hard light softer by using that diffusion material. And also one more thing, we bounce the light and you get that soft kind of light. If you bounce the light, bounce means they reflected the light from some surface, some white surface. So you got that because area become bigger. So that's the reason you got splits more. So there is no much more direction. So direction create that shadows. You feel that on some lights, if you see the mouth is open, the light's mouth is open. In some lights there is a certain kind of glasses over there. On some cinema lights there is certain kind of glass. This is called the Fresnel. It give your light some direction, some spot. There's a direction. Which light have the direction? Yeah, we have that kind of light we are using. So if some light have the direction, it will give you the hard shadows. Or there is some light which have the power light kind of things. There is open mouth is there, open Fresnel. So there is no much more shadows. It will not create much more shadows. Intensity will remain same, the 1000 watt and 1000 watt. But that throw, that punching will not in that light. That punching will be on that Fresnel light because it's making some spot. So it's create hard light. You can say that this one has become hard light. The same light, if you bounce it, it's become soft light. If you bounce it, because area become bigger, so it's produce your soft light. Okay, now the second one is the direction. Now direction of light can create the mood of your scene.
सर पार तो वो
Parabolic aluminized reflectors, जो एल्युमिनियम के रिफ्लेक्टर इनसाइड द लाइट लगा होता है, जैसे पैराबोलिक, जैसे पार लाइट.
पार लाइट और वो जो है स्पॉट नहीं बना सकता है क्योंकि उसको
नहीं, because how? Because there is open, there is no Fresnel, there is no lens. That Fresnel caught the lens. That Fresnel is lens. जो लाइट के आगे लगा रहता है वो लेंस है, वो लाइट को एक डायरेक्शन देता है.
लेंस कैसे उसको डायरेक्शन
वो लेंस है, ग्लास जो है लेंस है, एक रिम बना होता है.
कवर ना सर.
हाँ, तो लाइट के ऊपर लगाया ना हमने, लाइट के ऊपर लगा हुआ रहता है.
सर एक तो लाइट के ऊपर हो गया, उसको हम कवर कर रहे हैं.
That is bandor, that is bandor वो cover करना. You are using that one for the cutting the light.
Not for a spot.
No, not for a spot. A spot उससे नहीं बना रहे हो तुम. You are just cutting the edge, cutting the lights. That light is spilling. You are cutting this light. कि तुम्हें यहाँ light नहीं चाहिए. You are just cutting. This is called the bandor. This is bandor. This is not the lens. Lens is that glass. That rounded glass is that Fresnel lens. Here, you have to make that if the candle will be source. You are using that practical will be the source. That motivational light will be the source. So you have to use additional light. Actually, you have to use additional light because that candle didn't have certain kind of capacity to illuminate whole areas or your faces. So according to that position, you have to do light from that axis. From मतलब frame के बाहर से, from outside of the frame, not within the frame, to create that illusion that light is coming through that source, that particular, that practical lights.
You have to lit up artificial.
Yeah, you have to little artificial because the candle didn't have such kind of intensity that, but candle create hard shadows. Do you feel that?
Sir.
Candle create hard shadows. So for that reason, you didn't use that very soft light to create that illusion. You have to use little bit hard light that creates sharper shadows. You didn't use any kind of light that is produce very soft lights. So you have to use hard light to create that illusion that the light is coming through the candle.
But highlights will be also increased.
So you have to cut that things, you have to cut that intensity, you have to cut the whole lights. So there is a one way what I approach, I just use the candles and I just increase my ISO. And then I show that how much area, see, say for example, then I check it out how much area is illuminated, how shadows is cast. Then according to that, I will do lighting. Again I go on the normal ISO because then I got to know how much area will be illuminated if the candle will be here. So I just overexpose everything, then I check it out how it will be. And after that I will do lighting for that. Because the candle is here, so I am here, so light is coming little bit lower than me. Light यहाँ से आ रही है ना, shadow will be here, not there. If light is coming from the upper part, then shadows will be here. But if light is coming from here, the shadow will be there. So the axis will be same. So whatever the axis of your practical, the another light have the same axis. If it didn't cast any kind of shadows, if your source is producing very soft light, that time you can do light from here, there, but the nearby the subject, nearby the axis, because it didn't produce any kind of shadows. But once it produced shadows, you have to do lighting from same axis. So that makes that create that illusion. You are doing that lighting. Whatever the light is coming, that is coming from that practical. So it's called sometimes a motivational light. So, so this is a yo. The another one is direction. Remember direction.
The
Direction of light create your mood,
and
drama, mysterious. If light is behind the subject, there's a mysterious kind of things, no? So mysterious because characters reveal नहीं हो रहा है. If very side you are doing the side light, another part is too dark. Another part is too dark. If I am not doing from the front, if I am doing light from the side, how it produce, how it cast, how it will be.
It comes only on the
One part, half of the part. So it's like more dramatic.
it creates.
It's good. है ना? It's create drama.
Sir, but will it be the only key light, sir?
Which one?
One side light.
No, one side, two sides depend up to you. If the second side, if you want to use, you can use. If you don't, like in that song, there's no another light. There's only one light. So it depends. If you want to add drama, if you add some, create some mystery. So you have to be over there. Like you have to use only one light or like the light behind the subject. If you use whole lights, whole area will be lighter. Where is the mystery? Where is the mystery? Is there? It's become the flat. So the position and the direction is depend upon you, the scene. Which kind of scene or what is the mood of your scene. Sometimes it's हाँ बोलो.
जैसे अगर एक सब्जेक्ट की जगह दो सब्जेक्ट है तो हम सब्जेक्ट के अकॉर्डिंगली लाइट करेंगे या सिचुएशन की एक ही साइड से होगी या
कि एक ही साइड से होगी. Obviously every time key will be one side. Every time key will be one side. You can't introduce the two.
Same path.
Yeah. Even the same or even in the opposite. The key will be same.
सोर्स के अकॉर्डिंग
So-
mysterious characters we can use silhouette.
हाँ सिलॉट यूज़ करते हैं बिल्कुल यूज़ करते हैं वही तो मैं कर द बैक लाइट ओनली देयर इज अ बैक लाइट सो दैट्स क्रिएट द मिस्ट्री दैट सिलॉट इफेक्ट या होता है ना समवन इज बिहाइंड द कार की हेडलाइट आ रही होती है द मिस्टीरियस कैरेक्टर ओवर देयर बिकॉज देयर इज नो लाइट ऑन हिज फेस ऑन कैरेक्टर्स फेस
In that song, which is in theater song, that in Piazza,
yeah there is lots of effect yeah
that have more backlights. Sir.
yeah more
And
backlight
that have kickers also, sir. Like it'll come
yeah
only onto the cheek.
to create that highlights to create the shape they are using the shape of the things because if you didn't you add kicker it's not create that kind of illusion is there is a shape so there is certain shape they use the kicker so for the direction see and agar mathematical or ऐसे बात करो in this book there is something they have written that the put your light on like from the camera angle it will be the 45 degree.
Sir,
For the key light, it will be the 45 degree. From the subject point of view, it will be the 45 degree.
fill light.
So what happened? So what happened if you put it on 45 degrees? So only one आधे areas, half of areas से थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा area, little bit bigger area will be covered. Not the whole areas will be covered. If you put your light in front of the or nearby the camera, what happened? It's become flat light.
Full, yeah.
If you put your light nearby the lens, what happened? Flat हो जाएगा. It's like flat, like such kind of effect will be there. We are doing this called the front lighting. We are doing the front lighting. So what happened? Whole area कैसा लग रहा है अभी ये? There is no any drama. It's like totally feel like news reading. कोई flat image produce हो रहा है. Dimension भी create नहीं हो रहा है. There is no dimension at all. So ये flat सा लग रहा है. Not interesting. Not too much interesting. Because of the position, direction of the light. Because of the direction of the light. Because light is coming from that, from the front lens के axis से light दे रहा है. Through the axis of lens, you are using that light. So it's not create some drama or add some drama. It's only for the lighting, serial lighting kind of effects. Because characters दिखना चाहिए. So that's the reason ये light तुम use कर रहे हो. But through the direction, you can also create this kind of mystery.
Hardly diffused one, sir.
That one is diffuse one. See, in diffuse one, soft light is there shadow.
No.
But see the hard light. In hard light there is
Sir, shadows are little
सर इसमें भी तो
soft
बहुत
shadows.
shadow नहीं है
one second. किसमें shadow नहीं है?
इसमें भी तो बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है
क्या बात कर रहे हो? अब कितना shadow चाहिए तुम्हें?
Shadows are there.
बहुत
अब कितना shadow चाहिए?
Shadows are there.
There is shadows. अब कितना shadow लगे? अब क्या चाहते हो? दिखेगी ना? Because now see, no, I'm coming to your point. मैंने क्या कहा था direction. Now direction of the light is 45 degree angular. So that's the reason ये एरिया थोड़ा सा लाइट अप हो रहा है because light is coming through the nose के इस part से लाइट आ रही है and ये जो हम कहते हैं ब्रांच जो कहते हैं वो create कर रहा है. Shape of that nose become triangles बन रहा है ना. See the difference between both images?
That means if we are here, the light should be there.
Okay, so it's 45 degree. This light is on 45 degree. But see, if you take that light little bit side, और ज़्यादा side में light चली जाती है, how it create?
Parallel to the
The parallel of the subject, how it creates? Is it mysterious? Only one part is visible. So it's create more drama. ज़्यादा drama create हुआ ना.
ये 45 डिग्री पे तो लाइट है, लेकिन इसका पोजीशन कहाँ है? कैमरा से कितना दूर पर है?
कैमरा से 45 डिग्री.
ऐसे देखना
Because
camera
subject.
और subject 45
45 क्या हो गया? ये 90 हो, 45 हो गया. This angle is. मैं यहाँ हूँ तो मेरा 45 क्या होगा? ये एरिया जो है, इसमें कम 45. 90 का हाफ करो, that's become 45. तो 45 एंगल पे.
डायरेक्शन 45 लगाया जाता है ना सर?
हाँ वो भी 45 होता है, बट डिपेंड करता है कि तुमने कितनी हाइट पे दी है.
हाँ, वही तो
Now it's depend upon the direction or position जो है. Direction is the from where light is coming. What is the axis? So up side से आ रही है, थोड़ा सा डाउन है. कभी भी हम never do light from the down. नीचे से लाइट नहीं करते हैं. Because it's create the horror kind of effect. Horror effect. If you put your light in the dawn like low angle, because ये uneven सा लगता है. So for the horror effect they are using कि तुम low angle से light use कर रहे हो.
45 डिग्री जो ये बार बार आता है, तो इसका यही मतलब होता है डिस्टेंस बिटवीन कैमरा एंड
Camera and light. The subject or the क्या कहते हैं कैमरे के बगल जहाँ पर लाइट होगी. The position of the light will be 45 degree angular. For the key will be 45 degree angular. The fill will be 45 degree angular.
So distance should be according to the scene, sir.
Distance will be according to your choice. What you want the hard light, you want soft light, which kind of light you are using, what is the quality of light, according to that, which kind of subject you want, which kind of fill you want hard kind of fill or you want such kind of fill. So it's depend up to you.
नहीं समझे. सब्जेक्ट अगर यहाँ है, कैमरा का पोजीशन सामने है, तो यहाँ से इसको मतलब मेरा सब्जेक्ट तो यहाँ है, तो ये 45 डिग्री जो हम कैलकुलेट करेंगे, और कैमरा अगर ये लाइट है,
हाँ यहाँ कैमरा हाँ.
हाँ, तो अब
यहाँ से 45 ये हो गया, ये हो गया ना. दोनों का तो बराबर ही है, दोनों का एक्सिस तो यही है. तो यहाँ हो गया, एक यहाँ हो गया. या तो यहाँ लगाऊंगा या यहाँ लगाऊंगा.
लाइट कैसे दे सकते हैं यहाँ से?
फिल लाइट भी वहीं से यूज़ करेंगे 45 से ही.
45 degrees
सर
that
यहाँ से
side.
कैसे? तो फिर तो
सामने कहाँ हो गया? ये सब्जेक्ट हो आपका, हमने यहाँ से 45 डिग्री यूज़ किया, लाइट गई. अब हमने इधर से भी यूज़ किया जो कि बहुत सॉफ्ट है, जो शेडोज़ प्रोड्यूस नहीं कर रही है, वो सिर्फ फिल दे रहा है. इसने शेडोज़ बनाया बट ये इतना सॉफ्ट है कि इसने शेडोज़ क्रिएट ही नहीं किया, सिर्फ फिल दे रहा है.
लाइट कहीं से भी दे सकते हैं.
बैकलाइट कहीं से, बैकलाइट तो कहीं से भी, मतलब ये फ्रंट से तो नहीं होगा, बैक से ही होगा.
सर इसके हम सब्जेक्ट के साइड से नहीं लगा सकते.
तो वही तो मैं कह रहा हूँ. इफ़ यू नो बैक साइड से लगाओगे तो दैट्स बिकम द हाफ ऑफ द फेस विल बी लिट अप. अगर तुम साइड से लगाओगे,
Should be down, low angle or
no not low angle, don't use low angles, same axis as your key light.
यहाँ है तो फिल यहाँ से.
क्या?
इधर है तो फिल इधर.
नहीं ऐसा कोई ज़रूरी नहीं है. किसने कहा कि इधर है तो फिर
साइड से फिल होगी, मतलब आपके ये साइड फिल है,
वो तो अलग अलग एक्सिस से फिल होगी ना. एक्सिस अलग हो ना. अगर तुमने की डिसाइड किया फ्रॉम द राइट हैंड साइड तो फिल विल बी फ्रॉम द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड. दोनों एक ही एक्सिस से कैसे हो सकता? तो सेम डायरेक्शन हो जाएगा. सो द की
इसमें दो लाइट यूज है ना सर?
Yeah,
ये और
sure.
फिर दोनों.
इसमें फिल है. सिर्फ अनदर वन. या श्योर देयर इज अ लिटिल बिट फिल बट बहुत कम सा फिल है. इसमें प्रॉपर फिल यूज हो गया. सो समटाइम्स व्हाई यू यूज फिल लाइट,
sir, if we use diffused also, it will come like that.
yeah, like this, the little bit light, the like 1/4 of the key. If you're using 1/4 of the key light, like the key light is 1000 watt.
If light is diffused, it will come like soft light.
No, sometimes see that you just reduces the intensity. If you reduces the intensity, so that time you are not using the diffusion material, your shadows will be as much as sharper.
Sharper, yes.
तुम सिर्फ लाइट को, you are just taking the light back. That's not diffused too much.
Which is
That is
affected by
yeah. So it's depend upon the diffusion material which you used. If you use net inside, it's only reduces the intensity, not that sharpness. But if you use some gateway paper or diffusion material, now what happened? If you use net over there, see, once you use the net over there, the sources remain same, that they're smaller. Source will be smaller. You know, the smaller the source, create the hard shadows. But once you use some diffusion material like gateways or some satin cloth or grid, now the area become bigger.
Bigger and it will spread the light.
The spread the light. Light will be spreaded, so there is no shadow at all.
Then fill light will be not that much useful, no sir.
Why not fill light is not useful? Fill is needed. So, but it depends up to you how you want to use that fill. Sometimes you can fill by bouncing it. Sometimes you put it the direct light. So why we use fill light? Sometimes not only the balance the key light. Sometimes for the fill the shadows areas. Sometimes we use it. Sometimes we don't want that shadows. Sometimes we don't want that shadows. To fill that shadows area, we use fill light. कि हमें shadows को fill करना है. Sometimes always is the shadow not look nice. If see there is some glamour shot or glamour kind of things, किसी की beauty दिखानी है at that point of time. हमेशा ऐसा नहीं हो. There must be the key and fill ratios. Always drama ही नहीं दिखाना ना. You can't shoot only like always the dramatic, the एक side ही light है, like Gurudat kind of fill. Not always like that, or because every time your character not in a grief, तो ऐसा नहीं कि हमेशा वो grief में ही होगा. Sometimes there must be some happiness, some must be there. So always not like that. But yeah, this is a kind of light. This is your.
और सर लाइट का जो पोजीशन होता है
हाँ.
और उसका जो हाइट होता है वो हाइट किसके अनुसार रखते हैं?
It according to subject, and also it must be always try to put your light a little bit up a stage.
मींस सब्जेक्ट की हाइट से
ऊपर होगी. Because see, most of the time what we used, always we find the source.
Sir,
Always we find source for lighting. If you are outdoor, what people think the light is coming through the sun. Okay, so sun is upstairs है. If you are in home, is there someone who put their lamp or light in behind the low angle? The light must be on the ceiling or somewhere else. The light will also fall on from top.
तो शैडो तो यहाँ बनेगा.
तो ऑलवेज अपस्टेज ही होगा ना जब भी लाइट करोगे आप. एवरी टाइम्स नीचे से लाइट नहीं होगी. कोई नहीं लगाता ना घर में यहाँ लाइट लगा दिए चलो लाइटिंग हो जाए.
सामने भी तो नहीं लगा सकते. फिर जो ये शैडो बनेगा वो
तो बनेगा ना. इसलिए जब भी करते हैं दैट्स द रीज़न ऑलवेज लाइट को हम हाइट पे ही देखते हैं. आप सेट पे भी कहीं भी देखोगे वी आर डूइंग लाइट फ्रॉम द अप. डाउन से लाइट नहीं करते हैं. डाउन से करते हैं व्हेन हैव टू क्रिएट सम हॉरर इफेक्ट देन दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम यू आर डूइंग दैट थिंग्स. बट नॉर्मली क्या होता है लाइट तो ऊपर से आ रही है. तो ऑलवेज फाइंड अ वे which kind of practical light you are using. You are using sunlight. You are using sunlight. Or the ambience of your home is the indoor. There must be the ambience. Or ambience means that light is not in your frame, but light is coming through these sources.
और वो पूरा फुल होगा ना लाइट.
अभी जो लाइट हम ले रहे हैं अभी जिस पे शूट कर दिस इज ambience light. Now you are shooting in ambience light. But once this frame will be introduced, the lamp will be introduced in a frame and light is coming, or you are creating that illusion that light is coming through this lamp. This become the practical lights. Now you have to establish this one as a source. So more light will comes from these areas.
तो सर आप तो एक ही साइड होगा ना.
हाँ एक ही साइड होगा. दूसरी साइड देयर मस्ट बी बिकॉज एवरी टाइम सी क्या होता है सन तो एक ही हॉरिजन पे देयर इज वन साइडेड. There's a one side. अगर तुम चल रहे sun is your left or sun is your right sometimes. But how your whole area will be light up? Because that sunlight is falling somewhere and bounced back and that filling your face. वही हो रहा है ना. एक तरफ से लाइट आ रही है, the second area will be covered. In same things in your home. हर एक जगह तो दिवाली वाली लाइट नहीं लगाओगे ना. कहीं एक ही जगह होगी. One or two lights you are using. So when you are the nearby the light, this area will be more light up compared to this one. So now this become the key, this become the fill. Every time there is not only key, sometimes that key and the bouncing elements of that key become the fill.
सर बाउंसिंग भी डिफ्यूजन करना ही होता है.
Diffuse ही है ना obviously. bounce जो कर रहे हो diffuse ही हो रहा है ना.
bounce light is diffuse light.
Yeah, diffuse. bounce is diffuse. So that's the reason it's create soft light.
When
No?
are kickers used, sir?
One second, we'll come that point. Okay, so you got the direction. Okay, now is the intensity. The third one is intensity. So how bright or intense your light will be. How bright and intense. intense your light will be. It's depend up to you, or depend upon your scene or shot what you are taking. So there is a third point is your intensity. So when you are writing about the movies or that songs, just see the what is the intensity of light.
So
Is
how
it much
hard
bright? This is the word, the bright or intense. What is the intensity of that light? How much the brightness? There is a lots of brightness in the frame. There is some not brightness kind of things,
the
very dull.
intensity of the light.
That the intensity of the light. So now the third point is your intensity. Now the fourth one is your texture. Texture. Now every time when you talk, हाँ बोलो, पूछ रहे थे कुछ? When you talk about the texture every time,
सर
हाँ,
हार्ड लाइट और ब्राइट लाइट दोनों में मेजर डिफरेंस क्या है?
दोनों में मेजर डिफरेंस क्या है? तुम बताओ क्या डिफरेंस हो सकता है तुम्हें? ब्राइट और हार्ड में क्या फ़र्क दिख रहा है? व्हाट इज़ डिफरेंस बिटवीन हार्ड एंड ब्राइट?
मुझे तो ये समझ में आया कि ब्राइट लाइट हार्ड लाइट जो है किसी पर्टिकुलर जगह को बहुत ज़्यादा हाईलाइट करता है
और
ब्राइट लाइट जो है पूरे होल सब्जेक्ट को
हार्ड लाइट इज़ द क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइट. हार्ड जो है वो क्या हुआ? तो क्वालिटी हो गई ना उसकी. ये इज़ द हार्ड
Sir, hard light.
है ना. ये तो वो हो गया ना तुम्हें. हार्ड लाइट जो हो गई वो क्या हो गया? वो तो इसकी ये हो गई क्वालिटी. दिस वन इज़ द क्वालिटी इज प्रोड्यूस द हार्ड और सॉफ्ट. ठीक है ना.
The lower the
नो
light, the
नो अब डिपेंड करता है कि उस वो सब्जेक्ट जिस पे ये लाइट गई है ना सब्जेक्ट इट्स अपियर ब्राइटर और नॉट. इट्स अपियर नो ये लाइट इस पे मैं लाइट दूंगा ब्राइट अपियर होगा, कम लाइट दूंगा कम अपियर होगा. नो इट्स द क्वालिटी ऑफ द surface of the subject or your object. Is the quality of surface of your subject or
hard light is
object.
judged by light, sir.
Yeah, hard light obviously. Hard light.
The
Hard light you can judge hard light by
the
the
light is judged by the characters.
characters the texture of that characters or the overall the scene how it bright it appear. How bright it appears. So what is the intensity? क्या?
पावर ज़्यादा यूज़ करती है वो
नहीं पावर नहीं पावर तो
वॉट
नहीं ऐसा पावर सिमरी ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि ब्राइटनेस के लिए पावर ज़्यादा कंज्यूम करे.
ब्राइटनेस नहीं मैं हार्ड
ब्राइटनेस के लिए तो पावर ज़्यादा हम देंगे ना.
ऐसा
Power
कुछ
भी
नहीं है.
ज़्यादा
सी
देने का मतलब ये नहीं है कि
See, when you use word bright, what is bright is? Have you ever increased the brightness of your any images? What happened?
इट बिकम्स टेल
white area will be visible more.
I say, when you are decreasing the brightness, what happened? So exposure कम हो जाता है. Within the scene कम होता है ना. It's totally overall about the texture of the scene, how bright your scene will be appear. It's not only about the one light. Through that light, how much area will be light up, and what is the the intensity of that things.
The subject.
If I put some soft light over here, the intensity will not too much over there. It's not looking like कि कोई बहुत ज़्यादा bright लग रहा है. तो नहीं दिखता ना. In one scene, there is something that is very dull, or something that is very bright. Just like see that वो जो there is a pack shot. See. Now what you can say that where is the bright light bright. And now the another area is little bit dull. Here ना. So you can see about the where the intensity more intensity.
Intensity is
Behind the सर उसको तो
This areas?
हार्ड भी तो कह सकते हैं क्योंकि वो पूरा वहाँ
This is the quality. Hard light is quality. अब उसका इफेक्ट क्या है? लाइट तो हार्ड पड़ी है सभी जगह बट नीचे वाले एरिया पे कहाँ आ रहा है? Because you are just cutting the lights or something is black over there. But if there is a two texture, one is very reflective, another have the very the grey kind of things over there. So what was the texture of that one? कैसा दोनों वैसा ही ब्राइट आएगा? नहीं आएगा ना. तुम्हारे एक ही सीन में कोई डार्क है कोई ब्राइटर सा क्लॉथ है दोनों एक ही जैसा अपीयर होगा.
sir. Light
है
is
ना?
this side, sir. This is the texture, sir.
Which one?
Like on the subject, the light on the subject is the texture, sir.
This is a texture of subject. It's not the texture of light. Texture of light is not that. This is the texture of subject.
But intensity
Then
depends on texture of the
Then
subject.
Yeah.
this defines the intensity, sir.
Now this define intensity of light, how bright it appears. See the intensity on another part.
This side.
Is it same?
No.
Is it same? No. So this is the difference. So how bright it will be appear, it's depend upon your intensity. अभी उस पे light आ रही है ना, but light is coming over there. But how bright it appear, just depend upon your intensity. These are the intensity. ये light की intensity है कि तुम sorry Now the fourth one is the texture. Texture didn't mean that only the surface of your subject. So it's the texture of light too. How you can introduce texture of light in your frame, within the frame. The what?
The way it falls on the subject, like
Not only that,
Texture of the light.
texture of the lights you can introduce. Have you seen some fog
Sharpness.
light? Fog, the particles of the haze kind of things. That is the texture of that
spreading
light.
of light,
Yeah,
sir.
that is a texture. Just like that. See, like this. If some kind of lights introduced within your scene, that is called the texture of your light. Sometimes you can introduce within the frame. Within the frame, there is a beam of light. There is a sharpness. There is some, the hazy kind of light is over there.
sir, texture can be found when there is a fog or dust particles.
This particle through the lights. I mean, right now I'm only talking about the lights texture.
Lights,
That
sir,
can,
yes, sir.
texture is creating by lights. No, texture is another things. Texture is depend upon. See, there is a light, but there is a texture of material. There is a texture of curtains. In background, there is also texture, but that is texture of curtains. When we are talking about the texture, in texture, your composition, there is a texture, but there is no light at all. But there is a texture. So this background have the texture, but now this light also have the texture. It's not very smooth. It's a hard light. Okay. Sometimes you introduce some smoke inside. होता है ना? See, in night there is a moonlight is coming, the patch of blue light is coming. So there is a texture. The headlight of that car. The headlight of that car is in your frame. Within कोई strike कर रहा है और हाँ. So this kind of texture. Texture of your light.
The way light is
So sometimes you can introduce within the scene. बनाते हैं ना beam of lights बनाते हैं. Sometimes you are just making pattern of that light. Sometimes there is a pattern falling on your background or the subject. होता है ना sunlight का pattern, like light is coming through the windows, and windows there is a certain rods होते हैं उसके through light आ रही होती है.
In the video also when
Yeah,
you're
na.
sleeping there.
So this is a kind of texture. Okay,
और कलर तो कलर
Color दिखा.
1 second. हाँ. Now color से आप क्या समझते through the colors? If you are adding some colors,
So
the
the using to light a subject,
हाँ.
and it creates mood.
Yeah.
If I am throwing red color on someone's face, so it creates some romantic type
No.
of feeling.
डेंजर ना सर.
danger. Red is danger. That's called the golden. Red is sometimes see. This is a kind of danger things. You use that red.
We create
सर
No, that is called the golden hour. वो जो तुम romantic वाला कर the evening at the sunset time of lighting, that is called the golden hour.
it means a little bit orange.
And that is golden hour. Full red is for the danger. Full red. When you are using the one एक movie है जो पूरी की पूरी red ही है. I just forget that name. पूरी की पूरी red ही है. नाम भूल रहा हूँ मैं. तो दिस इज काइंड ऑफ डेंजर. अगर तुम बहुत ही क्या कहते हो डार्क सा कलर सॉरी रेड यूज़ कर रहे हो और समटाइम्स यू आर जस्ट इंट्रोड्यूसिंग मोर ब्लूइश और ज़्यादा ब्लू यूज़ कर रहे हो.
like we have
ड्रीम सीक्वेंस समथिंग लाइक दैट कुछ एफिनिटी सा कलर चल रहा है तो फील लाइक कोई ड्रीम इल्यूजन लाइक द ड्रीम ये चल रहा है ना. सो इट्स डिपेंड अपॉन द कलर्स विच कलर यू चूज्ड.
one more example like we have seen in the clip of first clip in starting clip. So it shows the greenery on Australian side, and when it comes to India, it's deserty kind of look. I mean,
हाँ वो हाँ डेजर्ट दिखा रहा है जो भी है. दिस इज अ काइंड ऑफ लुक काइंड ऑफ कलर्स.
desert is symbolizes that the past is not good.
देखो सबके अपने अपने व्यूज हो सकते हैं.
There are various.
See. Everyone have their own perspective of thinking of it because you didn't make directors what he approaches. So you have your own approaches. Different people have different approaches. So वो कैसे visualize कर रहा है depend upon him कि director कुछ और सोच सकता है but you उसमें director का thought नहीं लिखना है. What you think about the film or about that shot you have to write it. तो colors क्या depend करता है?
color defines the theme, sir.
Theme and the mood also depend the mood. Mood करेगा ना. So see the disco there is lots of colors because why? because there's a mood, there's
कलरफुल
and a colorful joy is depict the joy. कभी होली विदाउट कलर्स हो सकता है? इफ दिस सॉन्ग ऑफ होली इज कोई ऐसा कलर्स यूज ना करो लाइक दैट, बिकॉज लाइक जॉयफुल दिखाना है हमें. सो यू हैव टू यूज दैट काइंड ऑफ इम्पैक्ट. द ब्लू लाइट्स ब्लू भी यूज़ करते हैं. दिस डिपेंड अपॉन सिचुएशंस कि तुम रेड यूज़ कर रहे हो तो किस सिचुएशन में यूज़ कर रहे हो. डेंजर दिखाना है, कुछ दिखाना है, तो एवरी कलर्स हैव सर्टेन एस्पेक्ट. तो कलर्स डिपेंड करते तुम कैसा, इधर न्यूट्रल यूज़ करना है न्यूट्रल कलर यूज़ कर, बिकॉज फ्लैट चीज़ें चल रही हैं, नॉर्मली चीज़ें चल रही है, देयर इज नॉट lots of things happening over there, then you just neutral, we shoot it in neutral, but add some color, not through only by the lights.
Sir, blue defines the night shot.
Night, cool, cool, on a cool theme. So see, have you ever seen that the any romantic scene just in morning sunlight? Have you seen that?
Yes,
There's a
sir.
kind of mood.
Yeah.
रोमांटिक सॉन्ग कब देखा है? कौन जज कर पाओगे कोई रोमांटिक
सर, दो
सॉन्ग?
टाइम एक तो ऐसा भी होता है जैसे कि
कोई मॉर्निंग आफ्टरनून का कुछ सनलाइट का बीम ऑफ लाइट आ रहा हो, देन देयर इज समथिंग काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स.
यस सर एंड सम
देखा है? नो दिस आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट द गोल्डन आवर. व्हेन इज द टर्म्स ऑफ रोमांस और वो उस टाइम क्या यूज है? सी दिस इज द गोल्डन आवर्स लाइट. दिस इज द गोल्डन आवर्स लाइट.
गोल्डन आवर्स कितने टाइम को कहते हैं?
वो जो सनसेट का, जो बिफोर द सनसेट और सनसेट,
The first of the sunrises and the last of the
लास्ट ऑफ द सनराइज. मूड और कलर्स कुछ अलग होते हैं.
different yellowish.
कौन से आवर को बोलते हैं गोल्डन आवर्स?
अब प्रॉपर घंटे नहीं, बिफोर द सनराइज,
जब सन घूमने वाला होता है,
बिफोर द सनराइज, ठीक है ना, वो जो रेज आ रही होती है, जो कलर्स हैं, एंड वो जो क्या कहते हैं सनसेट से पहले जो होता है, बिफोर द सनसेट होते हैं ना, वो जो कलर्स होते हैं थोड़े से ऑरेंज से, हाँ, दैट इज कॉल्ड द, अब नाम दे दिया है गोल्डन वो दे दिया है, बिकॉज द क्रिएट सम दैट काइंड ऑफ इफेक्ट.
और उस टाइम पे क्या कलर टेम्परेचर होता है? 3200
नहीं, 32 नहीं होता है,
होगा ना?
बिल्कुल नहीं होगा, और ज़्यादा होगा,
even beyond near about 6,000 and above.
ठीक है ना, ज़्यादा होगा कलर टेम्परेचर.
नहीं 1000 पे तो ब्लू हो जाएगा.
ब्लू कैसे हो जाएगा? विदाउट सन, ठीक है, विदाउट सन क्या हो जाता है कलर टेम्परेचर?
ब्लू हो जाता है.
गोल्डन आवर की बात कर, गोल्डन
हाँ, गोल्डन आवर की बात कर, जो सनसेट के टाइम, सनसेट से पहले की बात कर रहे हो ना. नहीं, 2000 नहीं होगा, किसने कर दिया? अगर सन है तो उसका कलर टेम्परेचर जो है उससे इंट्रोड्यूस, वो टाइम टू टाइम वेरी करेगा, बट 5500 के अराउंड जो है हम रखते हैं उसे. जब तुम सन में शूट करो 5500 के अराउंड रखते हैं,
सनराइज और
है ना,
बोल रहा हूँ
है ना.
इस पे
किस
कितना होगा?
किस पे?
सनराइज
देखो, नॉर्मली हम फिक्स नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि आपको प्रॉपर कलर उस टाइम दिखाई ही नहीं, बिकॉज सनराइज नहीं हो रहा है, क्योंकि बिकॉज सनराइज ही नहीं हो रहा है, तो आप कैसे कह सकते हो? बिकॉज सन हैव द कलर टेम्परेचर ना, द सन हैव कलर टेम्परेचर, तो वो तो आ ही नहीं रहा आपके सीन में. तो डिपेंड करता है कि कितनी लाइट, किस टाइप की लाइट आ रही है, उसके अकॉर्डिंग आप सेट कर सकते हो. कोई फिक्स नहीं है कि आप इतना कर सकते हो. जैसे ओवरकास्ट डे का है कि आपका कलर टेम्परेचर 10,000 से ज़्यादा चला जाता है. ओवरकास्ट डे का 10,000 से ज़्यादा चला जाता है, बट आप 10,000 पे थोड़ी जाके शूट करोगे, आप तो नॉर्मली शूट करोगे ना. अब आपके पास अगर दो ही वाइट बैलेंस हो, इफ़ यू हैव द कैमरा देयर इज ओनली 2 वाइट बैलेंस, अदर डे लाइट और टंगस्टन, क्या करोगे? जाके स्काई पे जाके डिफ्यूजन मटेरियल लगाने लगे, वो कलर कन्वर्जन फिल्टर्स नहीं ना, वो हनुमान की तरह जाएंगे, कुछ लगा दिया, चलिए सर जी कुछ नया कलर प्रोड्यूस कीजिए, हमारा कलर टेम्परेचर मैच नहीं कर रहा है ना. सो इट्स डिपेंड अपॉन द वेवलेंथ दैट इज कमिंग इन योर फ्रेम. वो वेवलेंथ पे डिपेंड करेगा कैसा कलर वो दे रहा है उस टाइम पे. हाँ, पता है. हाँ, कौन सा इमेज था? एक सेकंड कितना, व्हाट्स द टाइम इज? 12:53. ओके, सो मैं जल्दी से क्लियर करता हूँ. इंटेंसिटी, टेक्सचर्स, सो यू नो द की लाइट, फिल लाइट एंड बैक लाइट. इट्स वेरी सिंपल. Now you are talking about, सब समझ रहे हो, की fill and backlight, everyone. The key light is the main source of light. You can say that the main hard light जो भी होगा scene में, that is your key light. To fill the shadows areas, you use the fill light, and the backlight is to create separation between background and subject. We use the backlight. Now you know that there is one light called the rim light. Rim light. Okay, there is a difference between rim and kicker. Rim is like kind of things कि पूरे
Which creates outline of the.
yeah, the outline from the both side that's become the rim.
सर रिम और किकर दोनों बैकलाइट के लिए
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल दोनों बैकलाइट है, बट देयर इज अ डिफरेंस.
सर आउटलाइन ऑफ सब्जेक्ट जो होता है उसी को बोलते हैं ना रिम लाइट.
क्या?
आउटलाइन ऑफ सब्जेक्ट.
हाँ, आउटलाइन ऑफ एनी सब्जेक्ट दैट इज योर. नो सी डिफरेंस. आउटलाइन इज डिफरेंट. आउटलाइन तुम्हारा बन रहा है पूरे हेयर पे भी बन रहा है, यहाँ भी बन रहा है, बट मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम किकर यूज फॉर द दिस एरिया. जो चिक का जो एरिया है ये आउटलाइन जो बनाते हैं. सी द वर्ड किकर, लगता कोई लाइट किक कर रही है, सम लाइट इज किकिंग, तो इट मे बी ऑलवेज इट विल बी हार्डर. और वन मोर थिंग, द रिम लाइट कैन बी बोथ साइड. सी इफ यू आर डूइंग द की लाइट फ्रॉम द लेफ्ट साइड, your fill is the right side. So always your kicker, always the opposite of the key light. Because why? The key have the certain hardness and the same hardness with the kicker. दोनों merge कर जाएगा. You can't differentiate it. So just use key and kicker. Sometimes people didn't use fill light. They only use the key and kicker. So it's become separation, made separation for you. Separation for background. Also make one edge. So and the difference between kicker and backlight is backlight दोनों साइड होगा ऑन द हेयर एंड बोथ शोल्डर्स, बट द किकर विल ओनली वन साइडेड. किकर सिर्फ एक साइड होगा, दोनों साइड किकर नहीं होगा. किकर सिर्फ एक साइड होगा, बट द बैक लाइट ऑन द बोथ साइड. सो दैट्स अ डिफरेंस. रिम लाइट कैन बी द बोथ साइड. रिम लाइट ये पूरा एज बना सकता है, बट द किकर ओनली विल बी वन साइडेड. ऑलवेज ट्राई टू डू किकर फ्रॉम द अपोजिट ऑफ द की लाइट. वो की के साथ ही नहीं होगा.
सर स्पॉटलाइट को भी हम बैकलाइट में यूज कर सकते हैं.
ऑब्वियसली जो हेयर पे लाइट आ रही है, हेयर लाइट इज बैकलाइट. Background light is falling on the background, that is your background light. Yeah, eye light, that see the shape of the light is, that's called the catch light. Actually you're doing wrong word. It's the catch light. That light shape is creating on retina.
reflecting
Reflection of the light, not the reflecting, the reflection. If I put one light over there on nearby the lens axis, the shape of that light is formed in my retina. So that is called the, why using in some, you know, the some portrait we are using that things, because when you are doing 45-degree angular light, that point of time, see this area is little bit darker, everyone have the, and वो जो angular light हो रही है ये area light up नहीं होता है ज़्यादा compared to this areas. So the catch light add that highlights.
So it will be the intention
For the glamour, for the glamour we are using, not for the films, everything. For the glamour, if we are shooting some models and at all, then we are using that
the intensity will be smaller, sir. Like
Yeah, sure,
it will
sure.
be one part of the subject.
Yeah, sure. So then that area will be
It will not
lighter.
spread over the.
Sometimes we use that key light, the position of the key light, we put that key light as like catch light will be.
सर कैच लाइट कैसे नहीं समझ.
Catch light वो लाइट होती है जो कि लाइट का शेप आपके रेटिना पे दिखाई देता है ना.
टीवी की लाइट तुम्हारे रेटिना में दिख रही है.
रेटिना पे दिख रही होगी, कोई भी लाइट है ना जो तुम्हारे रेटिना, मेरी आंख में कोई लाइट का पैटर्न दिख रहा है ना. सो दैट इज कैच लाइट. कि तुम्हारा कैमरा अगर वो कैच कर रहा है, द पोजीशन ऑफ दैट लाइट कि वो लाइट उसमें दिख रही है. सो नियर बाय, अगर मैं लेंस की तरफ देख रहा हूँ तो लेंस के एक्सिस से होगा, मैं इधर देख रहा हूँ तो इसके एक्सिस से होगा, देन दैट पैटर्न विल बी मेड. दिस इज अ कैच लाइट. समटाइम्स दे क्रिएटेड दैट कैच लाइट इन म्यूजिक एल्बम्स, और तुम जो शूट करते हो उसमें वो कैच लाइट रखते हैं. इट्स एड सम ग्लैमर. कैच लाइट समटाइम हटाते क्योंकि 45 डिग्री से कर रहे हो तुम, तो देयर इज नो कैच लाइट एट ऑल, वहाँ नहीं है. तो ये एरिया जो डार्कर होता है इसको दिखाने के लिए, द ब्यूटी ऑफ आइज, हम वो दिखाने के लिए हम यूज़ करते हैं क्योंकि ये थोड़ा सा डार्कर होता है.
ये तो अंदर में चला जाता है पार्ट इस चीक के 45 डिग्री से दे रहे हैं कि ये तो मेरा बहुत प्रॉपर नहीं बना.
हाँ, तो इसलिए तो कर रहा हूँ, इसलिए तो किकर यूज़ होता है, इसलिए कैच लाइट, सॉरी, इसलिए तो कैच लाइट यूज़ होता है.
किकर को किसके साथ रखेंगे.
किकर कौन सा? किकर तो पीछे रहता है ना.
कैच लाइट को किसके साथ रखेंगे.
कैच लाइट क्या तो नियर बाय कैमरा हो सकता है, कैमरा के एंगल से होगा. अगर तुम्हारा सब्जेक्ट फ्रंटल है, मे बी ऑन द कैमरा,
और उसका माउथ पूरा खुला हो.
हाँ बिल्कुल सॉफ्ट लाइट होगी, वो बहुत सॉफ्ट लाइट होगी. ओनली सेफ विल बी देयर. दिस इज वेरी सॉफ्ट लाइट. नो द वो डिपेंड करता है कि तुमने कैसी लाइट लगाई है. वो ये एरिया तुम्हारा लाइट अप करेगा, द ब्यूटी ऑफ आइज, वो दिखाने के लिए कई बार हम यूज़ करते हैं. समटाइम्स बिकॉज बट इट डिफिकल्ट व्हेन योर कैरेक्टर इज इन मूवमेंट. इट्स डिफिकल्ट, ये पोर्ट्रेट के लिए यूज होता है, बट इट्स डिफिकल्ट व्हेन इट्स योर कैरेक्टर इज मूविंग टुवर्ड्स द कैमरा समवेयर. उसकी इंटेंसिटी बढ़ती जाएगी. Intensity will be increased when is moving towards the camera. So it's for the static movement के लिए यूज़ होता है, not for the subject चल रहा है और कैच लाइट बन रहा है ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. तो स्टैटिक के लिए यूज़ करते हैं वो, नॉट फॉर द मूवमेंट.
Sir, hard light is created by only Fresnel light, sir.
Not only the Fresnel lights, there are lots of lights that create that hard light. There are lots of light. But now there's LEDs and
Hard light creates shape also.
yeah, shape, even that the pattern of light and okay. Now, okay, one more thing. एक चीज़ और देख लो. We are talking about the key fill and backlight. Now see this images. What is the difference between these two images?
Yes, sir. Key and fill is
हाईलाइट हो गया backlight से। जो कि background से है, वो
सर राइट वाली में बैक लाइट है.
So, बोलो बोलो कोई बात नहीं.
अच्छा मैंने पढ़ा नहीं.
चलो. नहीं, इमेज देख के बोलो ना, पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं, इमेज देख के कोई बात नहीं. Which one is more interesting?
backlight.
The right one, because why? It's create depth.
Creates depth
No.
from the background.
Just leave all these things. That what is created. The main thing is it created depth.
From the background.
Without the help of third lights, you got the third dimension, and that dimension create depth. Now how it looks, it's like it's merging in background. But just introduce the third light. What happened? It creates that depth. So this is the work of backlight, kicker, rim, highlight, whatever you can say. कुछ भी कोई भी लाइट हो सकता है.
Sir, top light.
सर एक चीज़ इसी
हाँ.
ये जो बैकलाइट लगा है इसमें,
हाँ.
वो किसी एक डायरेक्शन से लगा है.
Obviously, sometimes see the background. See, sometimes it depend upon if you have the areas, you can make it like top. From the top, the both shoulder will be introduced. But if you want kicker, you have to be on one side, the side of fill.
ऐसे
This
ये
side
जो
fill.
लाइट लगा है वो तो टॉप से लगा है.
हाँ, ऊपर हेयर पे देखने में, हेयर पे ऊपर से आ रही है लाइट, तो ऊपर लगा होगा ऑब्वियसली.
और कभी भी सब्जेक्ट के बैक से लगा सकते हैं कि नहीं?
सब्जेक्ट के बैक से लगा, इट विल बी लाइक सी इफ यू पुट दैट लाइट इन बिहाइंड द सब्जेक्ट, तो इट मे बी कि तुम्हारा जो फ्रेम होगा दैट विल बी कांस्टेंट, यू कैन मूव इट, थोड़ा भी मूव करो दैट लाइट विल बी इन सेम. सो क्या होगा, दैट्स कॉल्ड वो जो पुराने मैथोलॉजिकल फिल्मों में भगवान आते थे या फिल है ना, वो आते थे ऐसे कुछ चक्रवर्ती. सो दैट लाइट क्रिएट, आई जस्ट फॉरगेट दैट, एंड दैट्स कॉल्ड द हलो इफेक्ट. या हलो इफेक्ट, दैट्स कॉल्ड द हलो इफेक्ट. हलो इफेक्ट, वो हार्ड लाइट पूरी की पूरी बन रही है, लाइक भगवान विष्णु आ रहे हैं, फील लाइक दैट, फील लाइक. सो दैट्स कॉल्ड द हलो इफेक्ट. दैट लाइट इज बिहाइंड द सब्जेक्ट. वो थोड़ा भी मूव करेगा तुम्हारे लेंस पे, लेंस फ्लेयर आएगा. सो योर पोजिशन इन योर कैरेक्टर पोजिशन विल बी द सेम. उसको चेंज नहीं कर सकते. समटाइम्स पीपल आर यूजिंग, एंड देखोगे वो क्या करते हैं कि इन फोटोग्राफी दे आर यूजिंग दैट क्रिएट्स नाइस हलो. वो जो हेयर्स जिसके अच्छे होते हैं उन पे बहुत अच्छा. सो राइट नाउ वेडिंग्स दे आर यूजिंग दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स, पुटिंग देयर फ्लैश इन बिहाइंड द सब्जेक्ट, और फ्लैश सिंक करवा लेते हैं. तो दैट्स क्रिएट वेरी नाइस पैटर्न, नाइस आउटलाइंस, बिकॉज बैकग्राउंड इज टू डार्क. So that's create certain kind of feel, so depth. So they are using, so backlight किसी भी term में use कर सकते हैं, any term you can.
Top light is top.
Top light, when top light you using anywhere you can use top light. If there is some scene like a conference kind of scene and anything, so in conference there's a room is smaller, so always we use the top lights. In some new channel, the debate and discussion, we use the top lights
It creates
because it creates shadows downward, and also because there is a movement. There is 2 or 3 or 4 subject. So if I put my light on one axis, it creates shadows. If he is moving, his hand is moving, so his shadows fall on my face, his will be on your face. So now that's the reason they are using, sometimes they are using the top light. So because क्या होगा कि shadow का direction people can't find from where light is coming, because through the shadows, people, audience can get, oh, light is coming from this side. So this is the kind of cinematography techniques कि people can't recognize from where light is falling, from where light is coming.
जो बैकलाइट है उसको कभी भी सब्जेक्ट के सामने तो नहीं आने देंगे. अगर जैसे सब्जेक्ट पे लगा है, टॉप पे लगा है, तो उसको कट करके रखेंगे.
हाँ बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल.
मतलब फॉरग्राउंड पर नहीं है.
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं आएगा. बिल्कुल वो मिड ग्राउंड तक सब्जेक्ट आएगा, लेंस तक ही नहीं आएगा सब्जेक्ट.